gonna tap our nutsack.
Stop trying to sneak in the ASMR shit. It's not happening.
We're here to teabag you gently into sleep. Sleep.
I knew it was a sexual thing.
We have the gentle tea bags for you.
I fucking knew it was a sexual thing.
What's up, everybody, to another episode of the Salty Soup Podcast. This is episode 6, all right? I'm riding high right now. Our videos are getting out there. We're starting to rep them out one after the other, and I'm having a blast doing it. Cody, what's with the gloves, bro? That's a little over the top, man. I think I gotta get out of here, dude. You really want these viewers, man. What's going on, dude?
My hands smell like raw liver.
You're not just getting done with another serial killing?
This would be the perfect alibi, actually. So maybe we explore that option in a future episode. I'd love to see that. Maybe a hologram projection of myself while I'm doing my work.
Oh.
Actually, that'd be perfect. No, dude. We just fucking shot the second Liver King video where we actually ate raw liver.
We actually tried the diet. Raw meat, which I can't even think of a time I've had raw meat.
Well, my dumbass has gloves, and I have nitrile gloves because I'm allergic to latex.
No way.
The last time I was preparing,
So you have to have like lambskin condoms?
just non-latex. This isn't the fucking 60s where it's either latex or lambskin.
You just like get some sausage, like some old pig intestine, and just wrap your dick with it?
You know what's funny? Actually, before I really understood that I had a latex allergy, I would buy latex condoms, and my dick would be like fucking beet red at the end of sex. And
God.
I kind of look back on it like, well, I mean, the swelling helped.
You were probably like, I must have hit that badge so hard.
Dude, I was like,
my dick almost fell off, man. Like, I'm rubbing skin off. I fucked that thing so good.
if your dick isn't beet red after sex, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. And I always thought,
Obviously.
like, oh, it just hurts after sex because of how hard you go.
Right.
But no, it turns out that
she's so tight, it just rips the skin off. That's how tight she is.
I have a latex allergy, and
You're like, I am so big. That just rips shit up, dude.
Dude, no, that's rip shit up aside. The fact that, like, there was some swelling associated with the allergy. I thought, wow, look at you today, buddy. Look at you got fucking elephant dick today. Yeah. No, it was actually
what was in those condoms? They had some like some erectile growers in there.
It was straight latex with like fiberglass.
Oh Jesus!
That way, it really gets into the skin. Anyways, I have gloves that under my sink, and I forgot about them. And we just shot the liver video like 10 minutes ago. And I prepared all the meat without using gloves like a fucking dumbass.
By the way, is that taste out of your mouth yet?
No, it never will leave. It's with me forever.
We did eat a granola bar and take a drink. And I think it's still back there.
The smell has not left my hands, so that's the reason I'm wearing gloves.
Why don't you take a little smell of those fingers just to see what it's like?
Do you want to see me gag?
I'm just curious if you're just making this up or if your fingers really smell.
I'm like, there's our...
You didn't even smell them yet.
I smelled them.
You didn't even
I
smell
fucking
them.
smelled
Put them
them.
by your nose. And you put your fingers by your nose. Smell
Why
what
are
you
you
did.
cucking me to smell my
Smell
own
what
finger?
you did.
It's so much worse with the glove smell and the sweat smell combined. I've been wearing these gloves.
You put the gloves on, now it's worse.
It's so much fucking worse. You got to smell these fucking things.
Oh, yeah, that's liver. That's liver. Raw.
My eyes are watering.
Wow, that your wife is going to make you sleep on the floor tonight.
And I can't get the taste out of my mouth either.
You're sneaking more candy in just to...
Oh my God, I got a whiff of the fucking fingers.
You put it next to your face when you ate the granola bar. How's that liver granola bar tasting? Too bad it doesn't have any maple syrup.
I'm sitting on my hands the rest of the podcast.
I will say, weird tasting aside, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I psyched myself up so bad for that, thinking I was going to puke 100%. Actually, my real plan was to stone face it and make it look like I love it, just because I knew you were probably going to puke.
But it was so alarming because when you put it into your mouth and you got the maple syrup and the salt, and the texture is a little bit of a problem, but the maple syrup and the salt hit it so well.
Yeah, I almost want to put Himalayan salt on my dang pancakes now, because that was kind of an interesting taste, the salt and the syrup.
You ever chop up bacon and put it in the pan and then pour your pancake batter in?
No.
You got to fuck with that, dude.
I will fuck with that. I do fuck with bacon grease whenever I make bacon, and I try to just fry up whatever I have laying around. Let's put the peppers in. Let's put some onions. What else we got, dude, laying around?
I always save my bacon grease, too.
Yeah.
I keep it in a little jar. I would say that is one of the weirdest things I've ever eaten. I don't know if it was the weirdest.
What? What could be weirder than that? Raw liver.
Okay, raw liver, yes. The biggest problem with that is that my hands are going to smell like it for the next 12 hours. That's the only problem I had with it. If the smell wasn't there, I think...
You didn't want seconds.
I did not. No, fuck that. Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, so I don't know how, what level of okay we're talking about right now.
You know what? I'm not even going to say that it was just the smell, because it wasn't. Liver is weird enough that, like, you can rip it like paper.
The texture was very... Like it had been marinated almost, but it had been marinated in blood.
Right. Like a marinade.
It was, it was been... Nobody had to hit it with a meat cleaver, you know what I mean? Like, it was already... I will say, if it, like, one in every, like, 5 or 6 bites, it tastes... my brain thought it was beef for a second. Like, oh, is this beef? And then it went back to no, it's liver. And to tell you the truth, too, I think the secret to it is to literally eat it so fast you only have a chance to taste the maple syrup and the salt, because that hits you right off the bat. You're like, whoa, maple syrup and salt. That sea salt was like,
Dude, I think that if I were to go back and, like, we have to do the liver challenge again or something like that, I would wear gloves. I would put Vicks Vapor Rub on my upper lip. I'd prepare it, and then I wouldn't chew the liver at all. I would just swallow it. Because salt and maple syrup is kind of fucking next level. I didn't know that existed.
It was surprisingly good.
Yeah.
It masked the liver taste for 3/4 of the chew. And then the last quarter of the chew, you're just 100% liver.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when it went really downhill. And then it was like...
The texture was unlike anything I've ever bitten into, though.
Yeah, it was.
I've never had a texture like that.
The next thing I want to say, in case this didn't get said in the video, was Dalton lives right next to this super trendy fucking, like, upscale butcher shop.
It's bougie.
Like,
bougie.
No lie, you could probably walk in, ask for fresh liver. They give you fresh liver, eat it, and you'd have no issues. However, that's not that's not the liver we got today. Today we went to the butcher shop near my place.
The La Butcherina.
Yeah.
Whatever
Spanish is for butcher shop, that's the name of this store. And
we had a grocery list too, and the only thing that he recognized from our English was liver. Oh, liver? Yeah, we got liver.
that's true. Yeah. He did not speak English. He spoke enough English to find us liver, but not the other things we were looking for at a butcher shop.
No bone marrow. He's like, bone? You want a bone? What kind of bone? What bone?
Yeah.
I think he probably would have gotten us a bone.
Right.
But we couldn't identify what bone we were going for.
I didn't know what this bone... I assume it's this bone, right? Is this the femur? I still don't fucking know what bone marrow Liver King eats.
Now I'm really suspicious. You're just acting like that because you're a real silly serial killer that knows every little part. Like,
oh, is this a leg?
The
tibia,
weird. Fibia, lateral.
Is this what they call an arm? Strange. I never knew. I never knew that you just make a couple incisions and then it just like kind of pops out. It's strange.
I'm gonna go sharpen my knives for my cooking class later.
Yeah, I'm gonna need an alibi in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, why do you have so many gloves, man?
I've started obsessing over the boob chick, and now it's like something needs to be done.
Oh.
And it's murder.
So what is the weirdest food you've ever eaten? But if this isn't the worst,
this is the worst. I think.
I'll say first of all, I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to food. The only thing that I kind of steer clear of is grapefruit.
Okay.
Grapefruit.
Yeah.
And I had one more in my head. I can't think of it now that I really stay clear of. But grapefruit, for some reason, reminds me of the taste of the puke that comes up, like so acidic.
Understood.
So for some reason, grapefruit just gives me that. It just tastes like I just puked in my mouth taste. You know, like I don't like it.
I don't like grapefruit because, it's way too acidic. It's super acidic. I'm not a big fan of grapefruit. There is a way to prepare grapefruit, though, that's really delicious.
Sure.
And the way to do it, do you know about this?
No, I'm just, in my head, I'm thinking, I don't like tomatoes, but I'll put them on my burger.
Right.
You know
okay.
I mean?
Exactly. If you ever like have somebody that's like, I've got a grapefruit tree, here's some extra grapefruit.
Right.
Cut it in half, okay? And then pour sugar on the top of it. Makes sense. Put it in your refrigerator overnight.
Wow.
With the cut side facing up with the sugar on it. And then in the morning, eat that with breakfast. And it's actually delicious.
People are really going to start thinking the Dankest Soup is some sort of food channel now. We had no intentions of diving into food at all. And it just so happened that we stumbled upon the ancestral tenants.
Right. Now we're big foodies.
And Liver King, who's eating liver 3 times a day, in case you guys are just tuning into this podcast for the first time. We have made a couple videos on this guy studying his lifestyle and his diet. And it's so different than our lifestyles that we're trying to figure out if this is bizarre or this guy is a trendsetter. You know what I mean? I don't know what I mean, you guys can comment all below, like, is this guy just some kind of roid head? Or does he have something like, okay, maybe he's got something here.
I mean, not to be like overtly political, but I think that there is something to be said
That's
about...
one thing I think we can agree on. We're not going to bring politics probably into this podcast.
We're not going to bring politics into this. That being said, this country has such an issue with healthcare that people are, rather than pay a doctor's bill, they're clinging to raw liver, or I don't know if you've seen this, urine treatments in the eyeballs.
Dewormers.
Horse dewormers.
Yeah.
Fucking, I've seen...
Have you ever thought about trying the dewormer?
What do you mean trying?
Just one treatment of horse dewormer?
I'm vaxxed. It turns out you don't need horse dewormer if you're just vaccinated.
I don't know. much about this whole deworming thing. I've just heard that people were like getting sick or dying because they were taking too much of it.
Well, to be totally fair, it is not literally horse dewormer. There is horse dewormer, and then there's a thing that Joe Rogan was prescribed by his physician, which is not. It's very similar, I guess. It has the same name potentially, but there is a human dose, and then there is a horse dose, which is like a 1,000, 2,000 pound. I don't know how big a horse is. Right. 6,000 pounds, 100,000 pounds,
quadruple the size of a human being.
Yeah. So yeah, people were taking
the horse version,
the one you get at Tractor Supply, and unfortunately overdosing. Which, I mean, again, very sad. Speaks to the healthcare system. We don't have to go there. We don't have to do this.
Please, Salty Soup fans, don't be taking horse dewormers. Have we decided a name for the fans yet? The Salty Soupers?
The horse dewormers. The Tractor Supply pharmacy people.
Yeah, the Kool-Aid drinkers, right, for sure.
Anyways, the most like, or the weirdest thing I've ever eaten, it wasn't the liver, even though that's the most disgusting thing I think I've eaten. The weirdest thing I've eaten was deer heart, raw deer heart.
Oh, dude.
So I know I've told you this story before.
I can't believe you've eaten raw meat like that before this.
That's what's fucked up, dude. I'm an ancestor. I'm an actual ancestor.
For real, I mean.
The weird part is with like how hairy you are and how concerned about fitness you are, I assumed when we first saw the Liver King that you'd be the ancestor.
Well.
And you're trying. Sure, you're trying.
The problem is I brush my teeth, and you clearly haven't done that for years.
No.
So
why would I? Why would I? I can afford a dentist. Why would I brush my teeth? They can take care of it.
Yeah, that's what I pay dentists for. What are you talking about?
Anyways, I was deer hunting with my dad and his friends who lived right next to my dad. And they got a deer. We went back to their like giant fucking barn garage, and they strung it up, and they were like preparing the deer, and they cut out the heart, and they let me know that there's a rite of passage for anyone on their first hunt to eat raw deer heart.
That is literally just the different way to say, this is how we haze the first guy that comes to the group, the new guy. This is how we. You're just like, oh, rite of passage.
I was
like
young,
like my Indian ancestors.
This didn't happen yesterday. I was like a fucking teenager. I don't know.
I am a true-blooded Native American now.
I really did just want to fit in, and I thought that it was the right thing to do. So they cut me off a chunk of raw deer heart. They handed it over to me, and they let me know, like, if I want to be part of the group at all, then I need to eat this right now. So I put it in my mouth. I ate it. It wasn't as gross as the liver is. The liver really smells bad. The heart, I think this is the difference.
More of a beefy taste.
I think that's the difference, right? Because the heart is a muscle. And when you eat steak, you're eating muscle meat.
And he talks about that. He eats the organ meats.
The liver is a filtration organ. So what I'm smelling on my fingers is whatever that liver was filtrating for the life of the animal.
Liver King eats all the other stuff, the pancreas and the testicles. And
the ground organ meat mash is really sick,
mash,
dude. It's fucking weird.
I can't imagine that's a whole lot better tasting than the liver. I mean, it's just like different tasting kinds of gross meats. Ugh.
I am curious about those meats after having the liver, because for me, like the Liver King, he plates up raw liver, he plates up raw testicle, sardines with skin and bone, oatmeal with concoction, right? He plates up all these things, and me and Dalton have been talking about eating this food for a long time, just as an experiment, like bone marrow. And I've always said, for me, the grossest thing that he eats is the raw liver. Because I know what liver...
I've had liver
I've
before.
had liver before when it's cooked.
Cooked liver, and you just know...
I know I don't fucking like it.
Yeah, why would anybody want this? And nobody's ever presented it to me where you're like, wow, this liver was cooked so much differently.
Ooh.
Wow, you know?
Yum.
You can turn a terrible piece of beef into something decent. You know, you cook it in, beef it up, you'll smash it up into some tacos.
Right.
Okay, well, fine. You can't do that with liver.
What's interesting is that I don't know if this is like a depression era food, but you know, liver and onions, like that's something my grandma could make is liver and onions. She's like into liver and onions, which is something I'm sure she was served as a child.
Oh yeah.
And
in the Great Depression.
And dude, in the Great Depression, because now that I think about it, it's like, who the fuck wants the liver? And when we bought that liver, after tax, it was $2.80 for a pound of this thing.
You know what sucks is I actually bought some fried chicken liver today because I remember we were going to film today, and I totally left it at home. But a whole thing of fried chicken liver was only $1. It's literally...
Okay, so wait, it was
breaded,
chicken liver that they had breaded and fried and sold for $1?
And sold it for $1, yeah. At the grocery store that I go to.
Oh, dude, I would love to try that at some maybe like a next podcast or something. We were just eating.
I thought that we'd warm up with that because it seems
normal.
Yeah, a more normal.
You
version.
bread and fry something, it's delicious.
Yeah, exactly. So I was going to do that, but I was thoroughly shocked. Go ahead and try it yourself, people. A little bit of raw liver and some maple syrup and sea salt.
I do want to put an asterisk after what Dalton just said. I don't want to be held liable for the horrible disease you get from eating raw liver. Are we liable
for that?
How about we do this? How about we say, do not try this and let us know how it tasted. Don't do that.
We are professionals. And
yeah.
Please do not try or attempt any of these stunts or activities.
You're about to see. One thing that I do recommend when you're not preparing the liver is to wear gloves. The shit smells so gross. I can't.
You're gonna have to hit up your wife tonight with the old shocker just to get a better smell going.
I literally thought about, you know what's funny? Last episode we talked about how I put Nair on my testicles and it burned off layers of skin.
If you haven't seen episode 5,
I am going
or 6.
I'm probably going to coat my fingers in Nair and purposefully chemical burn off several layers of skin.
Nice.
Because it was that bad. You know what's weird? It wasn't. I don't know if it's a bad smell.
I'm trying to figure out how to bottle the liver smell into a perfume, a musk, and just smell ancestral.
That is like some real like Anchorman, Black Panther cologne shit.
I know Liver King mentioned no perfumes, but I think he would approve of a liver-inspired cologne.
The smell.
Liver King. We're on the same page, right?
Are you trying to get a Liver King sponsorship?
I'm hoping we can collaborate in the future with our liver cologne. All right.
The thing I think is that I actually, even though the smell makes me physically gag, I don't know if it's a bad smell. It's such a unique smell.
Totally different.
I've never smelled anything like this in my entire life. And it's triggering a gag reflex, but maybe it's good.
I can't believe
it might be good. It might be good. It might be a good smell.
I've eaten heart once in my life.
I never finished the heart story. The moral of the story is I chewed the heart, the raw deer heart up. I swallowed the raw deer heart. The second they seen that it left my mouth and entered my throat on its way to my stomach, they erupted in laughter. And one of them said, "We would never eat anything like that."
I now think you really do need to get some deworming medication because you for sure have some worms from that heart, I bet.
That's a good point. I mean, maybe I actually need it.
They're probably what's causing the insanity in your brain.
Oh.
We have figured it out. We've diagnosed it.
That makes a lot of sense.
My only heart story is nowhere near as heroic or ancestral as yours. All I did was I went to Peru, which I think maybe one of these podcasts we'll talk about our vacations one of these times. I got some, all kinds of vacation stories, but we went to Peru once and we did the food and culture tour, ate all the different fruits and stuff that are crazy, which we got paired up with random people, and these two sisters were with us, and one of them was like, I don't eat fruit.
I don't eat fruit?
And we're like, huh? Look, this is a food and culture tour in Peru, like a tropical area. Where, like, what are you thinking here? Like, why'd you pay for this?
Excuse me, I don't eat fruit?
And she said her excuse was, I don't like the texture.
Of fruit?
Which makes no sense because
There's 1,000 textures to fruit.
they're all different.
Yeah.
You weren't specific at all. A watermelon and a grape, both are revolting to you?
I don't like the texture of fruit. An apple and a strawberry. A mango and a pear. Well, those are pretty close.
Those are close.
Those are actually the same.
And you named a berry there. Are berries fruits?
Yeah, of course berries are fruit. It's anything with the seed on the outside?
Here at the Sulty Soup, we are professionals.
I'm no botanist, but I don't know what the fuck a fruit is, actually.
We are professional vegans, by the way.
What? Actually, what the fuck is a strawberry? Can you think of another fruit that has the seeds on the outside like a strawberry does?
Yeah, I feel like strawberry is one of those weird exceptions because the seeds are on the outside. It's probably some kind of vegetable or something stupid.
What the hell is a strawberry?
People are going to comment below how stupid we are now because
I admit that I'm
know.
stupid. I'm a fucking
I'm pretty
dumbass.
sure the people all know, and we're just blatantly ignorant.
Is it the only thing? Is it the only thing with a seed on the outside?
Can I tell my heart story, or are you just obsessed
Absolutely
with these fucking
not.
strawberries?
What the fuck is a strawberry, dude?
Can I
need to know what a
please
strawberry is.
Tell my
No.
fucking Peru
No.
heart story. I went to Peru.
Oh, that's cool.
Peru.
Oh,
Lima. Okay. Anyways,
I've heard of that place.
food and culture tour. Chick won't eat fruit.
Oh, that's what kicked this whole thing off.
She would not.
Got it.
So we're on a food and culture tour with a chick that won't eat fruit. So we
Any
finally
fruit?
No.
It's a strawberry fruit?
And seven. I'm dabbing with the strawberries. Shut up with the strawberries, all right? So 75% of this tour, she's watching us eat. I guess maybe she's into the ASMR shit with the few people eating.
Right.
But the last little bit, we finally went to like a local shop and ate some of the weird meats that I guess are more accepted there. And I had cooked beef heart. And
Okay.
I just thought it was a rougher piece of beef. Like it was a little chewier.
Right. Right.
I don't know how your raw piece was. Maybe it probably just went right down, huh? Nice and smooth.
I think that to have a memory of like a sense like that, you need either a lot of trauma or you need like something that's like brings a lot of joy.
You've got some weird PTSD from this now.
Well, the
don't you?
trauma came from them telling me like, you fucking dumbass, why would you eat a piece of heart? Nobody here would do that, you piece of shit.
Your family-
You disgusting loser.
Your family sounds great, by the way.
So I don't remember anything about the heart. I don't remember it being that hard to eat because I was like trying to prove myself.
That traumatic that you've had to purposely forget these memories. These traumatic
Oh,
memories.
it's blocked out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that
And that's why when you kill now, you forget about it.
it's the only thing that feel. Is that what? Is that what people do? It brings me
They're
close to
called
that.
Emotions.
Oh,
It's kind of funny. I teach kids jujitsu, and we have to do a mat chat every week.
Matt chat.
Mat chat, which is basically teaching the kids regular old things that you'd think most kids would learn on their own, but from their parents, but often they haven't. And it's simple things like respect, hygiene, being nice. That's a mat chat, right? One time, we were talking about controlling our emotions. All right, one of these times I'm gonna film a TikTok of this because I've seen people do similar stuff that were teachers. They're like stupidest things that the kids say in their class,
Okay.
So I'm doing this emotions. Actually, no. This time I was just a assistant coach, and so the coach was going through what are emotions, and is it wrong to have emotions? No, but if we let our emotions control ourselves and we get so mad we do something bad, then they've taken control of us and we haven't controlled them. And so how do we control our emotions? What are some examples, kids? And right away, a little girl raises her hand. She's like, my daddy punches a wall.
Perfect.
And right away, myself and the other coach who was teaching kind of take this kind of step back. And it was so funny because the coach that was teaching just tried to roll with it and was just like, oh, yeah, exactly. Like, there's been times where I know I've been so mad I punched a wall. Who else here has done that? You know what I mean? And I just take a look at him like,
Is this what we're about to teach the kids, to punch walls?
I've never punched a wall. I've been so angry I've done that.
What's that look? What's that look for?
I'm waiting for your doggy.
She's thirsty. She's a thirsty dog. Dogs drink. Have you ever heard the expression like you're dog water? It means like you're the lowest piece of
I
trash.
learned it very fast playing Apex.
Oh shit, okay.
Instantly called dog water a lot.
Shit.
You're fucking dog water. What were we talking about?
Dog sit. So
That might be.
I will cut like that part out, and I'll cut this part out.
I was about to say,
But
we
you
could
were
segue to
telling
dog
a
stories.
story about how it's a good segue to dog stories, and maybe I'll leave all this in.
It could be.
Maybe I'll leave all of this in. And you guys are hearing like real meta talk right now.
This is how these podcasts are formed.
Yeah,
They are mashed together.
it's literally chaos.
Nonsense.
Well, if you want to finish your story, you were telling how your instructor was telling a group of children that punching a wall is pretty normal.
Yes, and I had to try to rationalize that with him, which I couldn't really do. That's not how I would have taken that. I would have been like, no, I don't think that's a good way of controlling our emotions.
That's definitely not a good way of controlling our emotions. That's an insane way to control your. That's not controlling your emotions. That's literally the opposite of controlling your emotions.
And these kids have no filter. You know what I mean? They're gonna say what they see. You know?
My daddy, when he's angry, he bends my mommy over and makes her scream.
Why does daddy make mommy scream at night?
What's he doing to her?
I don't get weird stuff like that. I'll get weird stuff like, I'll ask a question, what are our feelings, and then the kid raises his hand. We just got chickens.
Awesome, kid. Why don't we fucking talk about your chickens rather than what I prepared today? Sick.
Well, we're just going to turn that way right away, huh? Okay. Well, I guess we're talking about chickens now.
Well, now we're talking about dogs. You had a dog story.
Oh, yeah. So, I have a personal training clients, and one I've had for quite some time. I met up with her today, and she's like, I got a funny story for you. A dog story. I was like, okay.
Okay.
Good intro. Good segue. She says, well, we've had our dog for a long time, and we took her for a walk out to the dog park, and we get home, and something's up. She's just not really moving at all, unresponsive really, like, it's not obeying our commands, and we just assume the worst, like something's up. So we take her to the vet, and it's her and her daughter, who I personally train, and they're just both bawling, trying to explain to this veterinarian what's going on. We just went for a walk to the dog park. He seemed fine just, a couple hours ago, and now it's just like, he seems just dead. And the veterinarian looks over, and he's like, okay, well, I know you're very worried right now, but I'm pretty sure your dog's just high right now. I'm pretty sure wherever in that walk you were on, he must have eaten some kind of edible or something, and now he's just very, very high. And you just need to go home and chill out for a couple hours, and he should be okay.
Wow.
Can you believe? I mean, we live in Colorado, and I mean, I know there's been 1 or 2 times I found like a bag of weed on my block, like on the street, just like somebody was probably on their lap and they got out of the car and it fell out of the lap,
Right.
But what a
Colorado, where the liberal streets are littered with weed.
Oh yeah, you walk down the street, you're like, damn, is there a skunk loose or something? Like, oh, that's a giant grow dispensary. Just
Shit.
They're all over, man. But I thought that was a hilarious story, man. Like, they just went from this emotion of their dogs dying to now confusion of like, how did that happen? And now you have to explain to your daughter what weed is and how it's. I mean, that's a weird one because you're like, don't do weed, but it won't kill you.
I think that, like, depending on how young your daughter is, maybe you just say, the dog ate a plant that.
There you go.
Got it sick, right?
There you go.
The weed conversation, you wait a little bit for that one.
Right.
After they've already done it and, like, you don't know what to do. That's good parenting.
Remember that time I told you that the dog ate the weeds? I wasn't
These
talking
are the
about
weeds.
the dandelions.
What's funny is that we don't really want to, like, reveal our hand. So Dalton had this dog story. And Dalton said, hey, I've got a dog story I can tell on the podcast. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm reaching in my memory bank.
You actually have a dog, so I'm sure you've got a few.
I've got a dog story. And I assumed you were about to tell a story about when you got attacked by a dog.
That's happened before, too.
So that's the story I have.
Oh. Mine was a funny story. So
Yours was funny. Mine is...
You don't have a good twist ending funny story there, huh?
No. I had a friend back in, like, middle school, elementary school region, and his name was Danny. I'm not going to bleep it anymore. I've bleeped so much over the past few podcasts that, like, I just won't tell his last name. There's 1,000 Dannys out there, maybe more. Anyways, me and Danny, we would skateboard all the fucking time in his neighborhood in Phoenix. And actually, one time our skateboards got stolen. And we started hoofing it. We were on foot. We were going up and down streets in this neighborhood. We're looking for whoever stole our skateboards because we're going to confront them. Anyways, we make it to the end of the block, which is a Walgreens. And this is back in the days of payphones. We're children. And I get on the payphone and I call 911. And I say, our skateboards have been stolen. And they say, this is the emergency phone number. Like, you need to call the non-emergency line. And
Right.
I said, lady, my skateboard has been stolen. This is an emergency. And it was like no sooner that I said that than the fuckers who stole our skateboards were riding them across the street.
Oh, my God.
And we ran up to them and we're like, hey, those are our, like, I knew my wheels. I had like very specific Spitfire wheels. They were like, they were red and yellow. I could see them from across the street.
Sure.
And they thought they were fucking clever. They had removed my trucks and put them on Danny's board and vice versa.
The old truck switcheroo.
So we immediately confronted them. And of course their story was, oh, we bought these boards just a minute ago off this guy. And we were like, listen, those are our skateboards. I can get the police involved. I actually just called them and they're already coming.
Right. Of course.
Or we can work out a deal and you can just give us the skateboards back. And they're like, well, we paid for them. So like, what can you give us? And we're like, why don't you follow us back to Danny's house? We get back to Danny's house and
you fucked them up.
We actually hooked them up. As I told you, I was subscribed to Playboy and Danny had a couple porn DVDs. So we just gave them a porn DVD and 2 Playboys for the skateboards.
And now you've been friends ever since.
I actually don't know these kids. And if I were to see them today as adults, I would comment on like, oh, wow, you guys are fucking losers. Look at the needle sticking out of you. I assume they're druggies.
You've got all these comments just built up inside, just like,
fuck you. Anyways.
Fucking dog water.
That was, dog water. This was a spin-off to tell you that one time I was at Danny's house and I was riding my skateboard and he was on a bicycle and we're going down the just a neighborhood street again, and all of a sudden, dude, rounding this corner was a pit bull, a chihuahua, and a mutt. 3 dogs.
Wow.
3 dogs had escaped their homes and formed a pack.
Wow.
And they must have been hungry because they started chasing us down.
Oh my god.
And Danny's on the bicycle, so Danny can get away.
Yeah.
I'm on a skateboard. You cannot run a dog on a skateboard.
And they hate skateboards.
Right.
Usually.
My dog really hates skateboards. Yeah. Watch this. Oh, look, a skateboard. See how she runs in fear? Dogs hate skateboards.
Now, the one time I got attacked by a dog is I was skateboarding. Literally just down my block, a couple blocks from my house, and a golden retriever comes running out and bites me behind my leg.
A golden retriever? They're so friendly.
Yeah. Well, that was the funny part, too, because I was kind of skating, and I see the dog like run to me. I'm like, oh, here, give me a boy. What's up? Like, you got out? And then immediately like goes from front of me to behind me trying to get my fucking leg, dude.
Whoa.
Dude, and I just about took my skateboard and beat this
hit it
fucking
in the head,
dog.
yeah.
And as I'm about to get my skateboard, I see another dog in the yard, and then I'm like, fuck, I hit this dog. Then his friend's gonna be like, oh no, and then I got another dog running after me. But luckily, the owner of the dog came out because she heard me yelling, and she like just calls the dogs back in, and then I'm just standing in the street like, are you calling the police now or what's going on? And then nothing was happening. I'm like, do I just leave now? I'm so confused. I've never had a dog.
So do I go?
Attack, yeah. And I started walking away, and then I was like, you know what? I gotta fucking talk this. I gotta tell this lady off, man. Her dog was just out in the yard and just attacked me for skating down the street. Like, what if it was a kid? And so I get all the way there, like, I was like, I showed her my leg was bleeding. I'm like, look what your dog just did to my leg. You just ripped up. I'm bleeding. And she's like, oh my God. And I didn't know to call the cops, call the whatever, the non-emergency number and everything. And I was just pissed off that I had messed up my favorite pair of sweatpants.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you at least going to pay for my sweatpants? And she gets out like $20. And then I was like, okay, cool. And then I left. And like afterwards, I was like, yeah, I'd even talked to a lawyer friend of mine. I was like, do I pursue this, And they're like, well, if you want to pursue it, then I recommend going to the doctor, taking off work, trying to add up as many bills as you can, That way we can build a case, and you'll then eventually get it all back, hopefully, and then some.
Right.
So that's the recommendation, is to basically purposely add up as many bills as you can. That's what the lawyer said.
Well, Jesus, dude, that's crazy. I
didn't mean to interrupt your story. Did you get away from the pack of dogs?
Oh, the way that worked out was Danny was riding away on his bicycle, and I grabbed his seat. And I have one foot on the skateboard as I'm holding on to him as he's pulling us away.
Hitched him.
One foot on the skateboard. My other foot is kicking this pit bull in the face.
Oh, my God.
It was like Agent Cody Banks shit, dude. It was like from a movie. And I did not get bit, or nobody drew blood. We got away from the dogs eventually, but it was like actually terrifying. Because you like hit a rock or something. If I would have hit a rock, I would have gotten fucked up from the fall, and the dogs would have just eaten me.
Thrashed you.
Yeah.
What else is scary is when I got bit by that dog, I found out they know what to bite. You know what I mean? That dog was literally like a centimeter from the tendon in the back of my leg.
The Achilles tendon?
Well, it was the back of the knee. But I could feel that tendon was so sore. Like, that dog was literally trying to
put you on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure I didn't go away so it could slowly feast on my bones, because I was riding my skateboard down the street in front of its yard.
They are wild animals, and we've let them into our homes.
They were once wolves that we somehow bred with tinier wolves until they're just not wolves anymore. But they were once.
Yes.
I'll still take a dog over a cat any day of the week.
Yeah, I'm a dog person.
I firmly believe people with cats are a little crazy.
Really?
Big believer in it.
Well, have you ever heard of toxoplasmosis?
Yes.
You have? Okay. People who buy a cat, they aren't crazy initially.
No.
But if they get this toxoplasmosis,
they don't. The smell of fucking cat urine smells good to them now.
Right. Yeah. So for those who don't know, I don't know what it is. Is it a disease or a parasite? But toxoplasmosis is something that happens to your body if you ingest cat feces or urine or something. And what happens is when mice consume it, they become attracted to the smell of cat urine specifically.
Not scared of it, which is their natural instinct.
Right. They should be terrified of it. They should flee from that scene.
Right.
But when they get toxoplasmosis, now they're like kind of coming towards the cat's habitat, which is a death sentence for a mouse.
Right.
And this is something that hasn't been proven. In fact, it's been like written off as pseudoscience or bad reporting.
But everybody knows the crazy cat ladies.
Right.
Fuck pseudoscience. Everybody knows that, dude.
Right. When it happens to humans can get toxoplasmosis as well. And then you end up with a crazy cat lady. This is the theory. Someone who kind of actually likes the smell of cat urine, and they'll have a bunch of cats in their house. Or the weirder part of it, the part that like really might be pseudoscience, is because this mouse is taking the risk and going towards the cat, a human being with toxoplasmosis, the theory goes, is more likely to take a risk. So a CEO of a company, like someone who was able to take risks and work their way to the top, or someone who died in a motorcycle accident, has an autopsy and it's revealed they have toxoplasmosis. Like, the idea is right. that
who knows how it affects your brain in the long run.
Exactly, yeah. Right. So the theory is that if it makes a mouse more risky, when a human gets it, a human becomes more of a risk taker as well, which is why they ride the motorcycle or they lead the company or whatever the case may be.
Or they yell at people for going on their lawn.
Right. 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 It's much more common that they're just a crazy cat lady.
Yeah. Just, oh man. You've been to those houses. You were an apartment manager for many years. Did you run into just people that were hoarding cats without you knowing it and shit?
Certainly, and we can look past that and go towards more recent. The last job me and Kelsey had was at this place like in the Rockies, really. This lady who lives there alone and has this house in the mountains on like 10 acres. It's so fucking sick. But she has several cats in her house. And we were removing multiple things like a brush pile and like some debris. But also we went into her house and removed a couch and a love seat. And what's funny is like when we got to the couch, she said, one of my cats it brought in a mouse, and I saw it last night, and I haven't captured it, killed it, found it dead. So it might be underneath that couch. And we lifted the couch.
Nothing but mice. No.
Yeah, nothing. There's like a family of mice. There were no mice underneath the couch. We brought the couch over. And then we get to the recliner, and she says, it's a good recliner. The couch is ruined, but the recliner is good. If you wanted to keep the recliner and bring it to your apartment, you totally could. And I had to like navigate. Oh no, thank you.
I still want a good Yelp review here. So how do I politely tell this lady to fuck off?
This thing is covered in cat hair. And the only place it's going is with everything else to the dump.
What you should have said was, we need to burn everything.
Actually, could you move out while we renovate?
Yeah.
Take your cats with you.
There's all we can do at this point is just burn it to the ground.
As I'm struggling to tell this lady, like, no thank you, or, I'm clinging to like, oh, our apartment's fully furnished and it's already too small. So unfortunately we can't take it. Kelsey immediately like, I'm allergic to cats.
Smart.
I'm like, there we go.
Smart.
There we go.
Now you can get out of that job as soon as possible.
Right.
That is I did a bunch of Instacarts when it was COVID times because the gyms were closed where I was working. So I'd be picking up people's groceries and delivering it. And you'd meet all kinds of people. I would say I'd definitely be meeting most of the laziest of the population.
Yeah, of
course.
First
of all.
Yeah.
And you can imagine what that entails. But I can vividly remember having to go to a crazy cat person. I keep saying lady. In this story, it happened to be a lady as well. I'm sure it happens in both parties.
I'm sure it happens to guys, but
it gets associated with old ladies.
The stereotype is ladies. I don't know what to tell you. That's what it is. And there's a reason for it.
My girlfriend's grandma was basically forced into owning a cat. Like her children bought her this cat to like have as a friend or something.
Whoa.
And I felt so weird. Like, dude, what if this is the reason that your fucking mom starts going crazy?
Yeah.
I really didn't like it. I was like, get her a fucking dog or something, but get that fucking cat out of here. Sorry to all the cat people out there. We're salty here at the Salty Soup.
Also, here's the fucked up part. I love cats.
I don't mind.
I think kittens are so cute, and I'll pet a cat and I'll pick up a cat. Right. I don't want to own one.
No. I don't mind if you have a cat, actually. I will play with it. But if I had one, it would have to be like an outdoor one.
Right.
It would have to be outdoors. It's not nowhere. It's not going to piss and shit anywhere near inside of this house.
I don't know how far down the rabbit hole of pets we go down, but like I used to have an outdoor cat when I was a child living with parents.
Yep.
And the cat would use the doggy door and come in every other day, every 3 days. Sometimes the cat would be in the house and you'd be like, hey, kitty. But when the cat came back from a 24 hours out in the wilderness, it would bring you back a prize. Mm. And the prize was always a dead animal, except for one time.
It was a human hand.
Actually, except for several times where the animal wasn't dead. Oh. And they would bring it into the house.
Yes.
Dude.
Rodents, birds.
Birds, mostly birds.
Yes.
One time, at a very young age, I was like on my own while my mother was at work. And I would always I'd walk home from school, and the rule was I had to call her, let her know I was coming in the house, so she knew I was home safe. And I call her as I'm coming through my front door. I'm in like 4th grade at the time. And I am letting her know, like, oh, I just got home. And then all of a sudden, I stop speaking, and all she hears is like the phone drop and screams. Me screaming.
Oh boy.
I walked in the door, and a pigeon was not dead, but fucked up. And there was blood all over the walls as this thing was trying to fly away.
Oh my God.
It was like flapping blood all over the walls. I walk in the door, and this thing falls down from like a ledge and starts flapping at my face. And there's blood fucking everywhere. It's getting blood all over me. And I thought
this is a perfect T-shirt idea in my head. For
just me being attacked by a pigeon.
The Salty Soup podcast, just blood everywhere, and just a pigeon attacking you, and the cat just laughing in the corner.
cat
just
fucking dying.
grinning.
Anyways, cats are fucked, dude. Cats are the only animal that I can think of that is given food, given shelter, and chooses not to eat the food or live in the shelter. It says, fuck you, I'd rather kill birds and drag them into the house.
What's really weird about cats, though, and I thoroughly believe that 100% of the time they want to kill you. You know what I mean? Like when they live in your house, they just wish that they were a little bigger and they could fucking kill you, but they can't. So they just have to live their lives,
deal with you a little bit,
deal with it. I got sidetracked by that. I forgot what I was gonna say. What were you saying before that? Shoot.
Just that a cat had brought me a live bird several times, but this was the most traumatic.
I wanted to bring up that they're fucking killers.
Well, we can do a whole episode on pets and cats and awful creatures people choose to home.
No. That's going to annoy me, though. It worked into the whole killing thing. Well, don't get baked and do podcasts.
Don't smoke weed, kids.
Nope. Don't do drugs. Here at the Salty Soup, we are professionals, and we do not recommend you attempt anything that we perform.
100%, especially the raw liver thing. Please, for the love of God, don't eat raw meat. I know that
we're probably not going to be here tomorrow. All right. I can imagine that we're going to have some crazy diarrhea tomorrow.
I'm surprised we made it through the whole podcast, honestly. I thought that like it was going to start setting in and one of us was going to get sick.
I thought I was going to just be emotionally drained just to psych myself up to do it. You saw me, I was pacing and like slapping myself. You know what I mean? I was like slapping my face just to like psych myself up to eat it.
I started drinking heavily. I was that scared.
I
was
had
like,
a few shots.
Yeah. I am emotionally drained. Everybody, though, thank you for watching this podcast. If you could please help us out, like the video, sub to the channel, and leave a comment letting us know maybe a topic for a future podcast. That's super helpful, actually.
Let us know if you're a cat lover.
Let us know. We would love to know. We're trying to weed those people out early. So let us know if you want to be banned. All right. Goodbye.